So here's a video of fraisure and I about, I'd say 7.5, 8 years ago, starting off English. I had never written English before. We actually had one day where we had a bad wreck. We went over a jump like this and I blacked out during it, and I opened my eyes and fraisure was over here tangled up in the jump with the two cross rails between his front and his back legs, and I was clear over here. Not even kidding. I don't have video footage of that, sadly. I would have loved to see what happened. I think I blacked out, and since I blacked out, he was used to me leaning forward and I didn't lean forward, so he kind of over jumped it maybe. I'm not sure. So this was about 7.5, 8 years ago. And he's still alive. He's 36 this year. Like I said, I wasn't really good at English. I'm a Western writer, so yeah. I'm starting to write English more, though. Okay, so this next video was the first time I really started paying attention and really caring if my horses listened or not. Because I got old horses that were always pre-trained, so we didn't really have to do much. fraisure was one of those horses that's kind of used to getting his way. He was out of shape. We were just doing some pulls on the ground and a little cross jump just to give him something to focus on. In my opinion, if you have something for your horse to focus on when you're lunging besides yourself, they do lunging better, because if they're just running circle after circle, they don't really have anything to pay attention to besides you. And I feel like they pay attention more if they've got something else, because they have to watch their feet. See, on this side, he's like, I don't want to go. I was telling my cameraman to stop, and he kept filming. That's why you'll see me say stop here in a second. So here's a picture of fraisure standing in the rain. He doesn't always have the spots there from the rain and him rolling in the dirt. I was going to show you guys a video I have the very first time I free lunged him in an arena without a lead rope and halter. I hadn't prepared him for it. I just did it, and at the end he took off, but he did really good following my body language the first few minutes. I was going to show it to you guys, but for some reason my computer's not wanting to play it or any other videos. It's kind of an old computer, so if I can get it to play, I'll upload it. And if you guys like these videos, leave a comment. Maybe I will put in some pictures of fraisure. I'll pause it. Sorry for the noise. My cat is playing with a ball. Do like a miniature slideshow thing here. So this picture is dark, but we were working on trailer loading because we would always have a hard time getting him in and out of the trailer. It would take a couple of hours, so we always had to trailer him a couple hours before we went. So this is kind of when I started really wanting to train horses, because I got him to where it would take him a couple hours to, it would take him like a minute or so just to get in. And then my aunt bought him because we couldn't afford horses anymore, and she stopped working with him. And then it got back to where one day it took 6 hours to get him in, and we finally got him in and backed him out and got him in again and backed him out and got him in one more time. And we were going to go, and she's like, oh, you need to keep practicing. And it's like, well, we've gotten him in 3 or 4 times really easily, so that's like a good note to end on and just go on our trail ride. But she didn't want to go on the trail ride afterwards, so we didn't end up going, which sucked. Here's a picture of fraisure and I at my aunt's place she thought I was too heavy-handed, so she put him in a hackamore, which I didn't really care to ride in a hackamore because the very first day that we got him, I was heavy-handed, but we had him for 6 or 7 years. Plus, we sold him 6 or 7 years ago, so we've had him for like 14 years. My grandpa still calls him mine, even though he owns him. The reason I don't like hackamores on him is he has always been ridden in a bit by quote-unquote cowboys, the way cowboys ride him. The first day we got home, we wanted to acclimate him, so we left him in the round pen. And then the second day, we're like, well, when we go to play days and events, he's not going to have a whole day to adjust. So let's go for a ride. So my grandma put him in a hackamore just because I was just taking him around our block. And something spooked him, and I didn't really want... Here's a funny story. I didn't really want fraisure when we first got him. And I know that sounds kind of harsh because I love him so much now. But I didn't want him because the first time I rode him in the trial run, he spooked. My cross fell off my saddle, so I got down to get it. And he took off running and kicked out and just about wet my face, which was my fault for not watching. And then not only that, it took his owners. They were only in a field probably as big as the girls' field that I've showed in the videos. So not a very big field. And it took them about an hour and a half to catch him. We had to stand there and wait. And they weren't even trying to walk up and catch him. They were chasing him in with a herd of horses with whips. So, and then they had to get the horses out, and then they cornered him, and I don't know. He was always hard to catch, but as long as he didn't run, he wouldn't be as hard to catch. And I learned drive line and all that. But he spooked when I got off to get my cross, and then when we brought him home, the next day we went for a ride, put him in a hackamore. Something spooked him, and he ran so fast that he ran the entire block. And he was going super, super fast for me, you know, for on a new horse. They feel faster than what they are. And he stopped so quick, I just about went flying into my mom, because the only reason he stopped is because my mom and my grandma were standing right there. So I didn't really care for hackamores on him. But, you know, when somebody else owns him, and they're still calling it your horse, and you're going on their property and riding, you kind of have to follow their rules. Which, you know, I still get to go see him whenever I can afford to go out and see him. And I still get to ride him, even though he's 36. I don't really ride him that much. I just do a walk trot. I don't even canter him because they feed him so much he looks like he's pregnant. I don't really want my horse that fat, but, you know, it's better than him starving in a way. So, at least he's not starving. So here you can kind of see how big he is. And I just don't like how fat his neck is. He's out of shape. And for anybody wondering, he's a breeding stock paint. He's an awesome horse. He's a sweetheart. If I had known how to teach a horse how to lay down, I would have taught him some tricks. But at the time, we just used him for play days and just a ride around horse. So we were trying to make him my horse, but into my grandpa's backup cowboy mounted shooting horse, because his mare, we took her to an event, and she was with a buddy that she's been with her whole life. They're practically like sisters because we've had them so long. And my grandpa did what he always did, which is those little big electric wires and posts. He put a good 10-20 feet out of the trailer and made a little fence, and then tied open the trailer door with a couple extra strings, just in case something happened to knock the latch out. And had the trailer open so that if it rained, they could get inside the trailer, the two horses, and those two, like I said, pretty much grew up together. Don't know what happened. We just know that his mare was standing in the first part of the stall of the trailer. All gates were open, and they got into a kicking match, and her knees swelled up. So we wanted him as a backup cowboy mounted shooter, but he was I don't know if he was too excited or too spooky. I don't really remember much about it because it was so long ago. But he just didn't end up being our cowboy-mounted shooting horse. He was just my ride-around horse. So this was the last day that he was here with us. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if I can get the other videos to work, I will upload them. Sorry if it's a little grainy. I'm filming off my phone to my laptop because it's an old laptop, and I'm still trying to get those videos to play, and they're not. So thank you for joining and watching 8-Pine Horsemanship and learning about Fraisure, my 36-year-old gelding who my family still owns on my aunt's side. And I still get to go see him. And maybe the next time I go out, I'll take a video and post it. And that video of him licking my face was a recent video about a month ago. So, he's still alive and well. Thank you so much for watching.